In this video, I want to take you guys through a major demo that will be dropping soon on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Cyberpunk 2077 gonna have some sort of stream tomorrow. We'll talk about that and a couple of PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4 game announcements that I do want to go over. A couple of lower key titles, but still interesting games. Okay, first up, Square Enix and Platinum Games' Babylon's Fall will be coming out on March 3rd. However, it will be getting a demo. The game will be getting a demo on February the 25th. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this game, again, it's done by Platinum Games, the guys that are known for Bayonetta, Vanquish, and a lot of other games. Platinum Games, obviously, Nier Automata. Platinum Games is well known for their high-octane, fast-paced, action-oriented games. And Babylon's Fall is their latest game with Square Enix. Obviously, they also worked with Square Enix for the aforementioned Nier Automata. Babylon's Fall notes, experience acclaimed developer Platinum Games' signature combat in Babylon's Fall with up to 3 other players, or take on the Tower of Babel alone in a new cooperative action RPG. So it does have a co-op emphasis. It'll be interesting to see how this game does, because I haven't been completely sold on the footage we've seen thus far. I remember when we initially saw the trailer, it was a very, the initial trailer when it was first announced didn't have gameplay or anything, but we knew it was a new action RPG by Platinum Games working with Square Enix. Immediately, I got incredibly excited, and honestly, a little bit of my excitement has fallen off, but I'm still excited to see how this game turns out. The demo itself, you can enjoy up to 4-player online multiplayer starting from the game's opening, including the tutorial. Save data from the demo can be transferred to the full version of the game when it launches. A battle pass will also be available in the game. I know you guys love to hear that. It's a system that allows players to earn various rewards by accumulating battle points by clearing missions and quests and advancing to each new tier. The free battle pass is free to all players, and its rewards include boost items that increase the amount of experience points and in-game currency gain. The premium battle pass costs 1,000 in-game credit, and its rewards include cosmetic equipment, appearance, emotes such as an appearance and victory effects, and more. Would be nice if less, full price $59.99 games had battle passes, but hey, that's kind of the story in the gaming world right now. Also a bummer, there is a deluxe edition that's $100, and it does grant you 3 days early access to the game. So not a big fan of that as well, but you see games like Ghostwire Tokyo doing it as well, so that's not even exclusive to multiplayer titles. That happens to a lot of games these days, where the deluxe edition gets you access to the game earlier, but in reality, as I always say about that gimmick with pre-orders, with the deluxe editions, that's really not you getting the game 3 days early. That's the people that paying $60, that's them getting the game 3 days later. I think it's fine if you want to do that type of model for like a free-to-play title with like Lost Ark. You got like that, the Founders Packs or whatever, and that got you 3 days early access to the game. With a $60 game, I don't know, it just rubs me a little bit the wrong way, but we'll see how that turns out. Most importantly, I hope the game turns out well, because right now I'm still unsold on it, but with a free demo that's going to be available for everyone, hopefully that does sell some people on the game, and hopefully that excites me more than for the game, because March is packed with a lot of major game releases. Alright, moving on from that, Cyberpunk 2077, they put out the official tweet. So, Choom, how about a date? We'll talk things you know. You're in, Preem. Let's meet tomorrow, February 15th at 4 p.m. Central Time at the usual place, twitch.tv/CD Projekt Red. So, I would imagine that this is where we would finally get the announcement of the upgrade on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series version. It seems like that will be happening sooner rather than later, and hopefully we hear, some updates in general, because Cyberpunk 2077, in gaming, it's very much a what have you done for me recently kind of game that we're playing here within the gaming news cycle, and Cyberpunk 2077 at this point, people aren't really remembering, how it turned out in December of 2020. We're talking about all the newer games coming out, and at this point, Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that people bring up, and they're like, hey, was Cyberpunk really as bad as people made it out to be? And it's gonna be one of those games, I truly believe this, in 10 years, people are gonna be talking about, why did everybody make such a big deal about Cyberpunk? It's actually not that bad of a game, because they'll be removed from the hysteria and the hype that was surrounding the game leading up to its launch. And yes, the hype was insane, and the game was nowhere near close to the anticipation or, what we saw at the E3 gameplay demos and what was promised, etc., etc. The game itself, like, I remember when the game came out and people were saying it's like the worst RPG of all time. Alright, maybe you could say it's the worst RPG of all time based on the basic PlayStation 4 performance, but if you played that game on a decent PC or you played the game on the PS5, Was it a phenomenal RPG? Absolutely not. Was it like a fine 6 out of 10 game that if you paid $10 for, you'll have an okay time with? Sure. That's what Cyberpunk 2077 is, and you know, if this game came from any other developer and didn't have the buzz surrounding it, it would just be like, alright, yeah, it's like the Greedfall tier of games. Nothing, no slight on Greedfall, because Greedfall is actually a game that I quite like, and that studio is incredibly talented, but it would be seen at that like level of an RPG in the case of Cyberpunk, because the hype was so astronomically high. Yeah, it had a different story turn out, but you look at the Steam reception now, I believe it has like mostly positive reviews, which is a far cry from what it initially had, and you know, it's a game that I think at this point, a lot of people are picking it up for $10 at a Best Buy or GameStop, and at that price point, I think you can find a good RPG, but we do want a true PS5 upgrade, hopefully more updates to continue to make the game better, iron out bugs, glitches, because it was very, very bug-ridden mess at launch, very reminiscent of Dying Light 2 that just happened. Cyberpunk kind of went through the same story. But hopefully this is a significant, you know, news drop on the game. I know they are going to do paid DLC at some stage of the game, and hopefully that turns out well, but for now, it should really be focused on getting the game at its optimal state. And then we can talk about DLC expanding the game. Alright, a couple of other things to note. Animal Well has been announced for PS5 and PC, due out in late 2022 or early 2023. The game notes explore a dense, interconnected labyrinth and unravel its many secrets. Collect items to manipulate your environment in surprising and meaningful ways. Encounter creatures both beautiful and unsettling as you attempt to survive what lurks in the dark. There is more than what you see. Game has a pretty cool style. It's gonna have some puzzles and definitely an element of a survival in the game as well. Again, this is still a ways away, coming out later this year, maybe early 2023. And lastly, do want to note TMNT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, has been confirmed for PS4 and Xbox One and adds the playable Master Splinter. This is very much a throwback to old school beat 'em ups. It's a side-scrolling beat 'em up with an old school art style. A lot of you guys dig TMNT, you know, one of those shows that I grew up with, and I was a big fan back in the day. I played one of the games on GameCube, I think it was, and I loved it. I forgot what the game was called, but I played the hell out of it. And yeah, that's a game I need to figure out what that game was, and maybe we'll emulate it or something one of these days when it's not 80 billion games coming out at a time. But I remember really, really enjoying that game. But this is going to be a throwback to beat 'em ups of old, and it might be right up your alley when it does drop. And that is going to do it for me. Again, Babylon's Fall getting a free demo come February 25th. Gonna have a Season 1 Premium Battle Pass if you do want to check that out. Remember, the Digital Deluxe Edition is $100, and will get you 3 days early access along with some other stuff. Cyberpunk 2077 live stream scheduled for tomorrow. Animal Well and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles confirmed for PlayStation 4, and in the case of Animal Well, PlayStation 5. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.